You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
There's the jingle bells again. Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, December 17th show. I'm committed to providing you knowledge needed to be successful in every area regarding your financing. Knowledge is power, and that's what you'll receive from listening to the show. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call into the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Right now in studio, very excited to have a conversation with Tyler McKenzie, broker owner, John L. Scott Real Estate, West Seattle. Tyler, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Tina, it is a delight as always to be back.
And excited to traditional conversation with you is about real estate because that's what you do in profession, but also you do a lot of mentoring and coaching, and in that it's really helping people have a better quality of life. And this show is all about a better quality of life. And so I'm excited for the topic of conversation today, which is going to be around how to do that. So a little bit about Tyler before I get started here with my conversation with him. Tyler's track record. Credential and community services are designated broker owner, John L. Scott Real Estate, West Seattle, certified international property specialist, accredited buyer representative, certified negotiation expert, and John L. Scott certified marketing specialist. Tyler has 15 years in the industry and has been a top producer, earning John L. Scott's President Gold and President Elite Awards several years running. He's a licensed instructor, immediate past president for Seattle King County Realtors, chair of the Global Real Estate Council, vice president of membership of Washington Realtors 2017, National Association of Realtors director of board of directors in 2016-2017, member of Certified International Property Specialist Advisory Board 2016-2017, National Association of Realtors Graduate and Leadership Academy, 2016 Realtor of the Year, Seattle King County Realtors, 2013 Realtor Achievement Award for Seattle King County Realtors, and 2012 and 2014 Washington Association Mortgage Professional nominee for Realtor of the Year. Wow. That bio is so much fun. Tyler, in your 15 years in the industry, you've accomplished so much. And that's why I'm excited about this conversation, because when you want to have a better quality of life, when you want to have a successful business, successful family, and be happy doing it, it's the successful people that are the elite in the industry, and just really proud to have you here again. Tyler, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Tina. And as I listen to you introduce me, I'm feeling pretty awesome about myself right now. So
wonderful. Now, wait till how I start this out. So here's my question to you, Tyler, for my listeners. So, Tyler, this past year, you have served as immediate past president for Seattle King County Realtors on the Washington Realtors Executive Committee, and at the national level as NAR, National Association of Realtors Director, and one of the 18 agents nationwide out of a $1.2 million to participate in its Leadership Academy. While busy doing all kinds of things, you also purchased your John L. Scott franchise. By the way, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And you're managing it. Have moved into a new location, oversee substantial tenant improvements, beautiful office, all while also maintaining your status as a top producer with John L. Scott brand. How do you do it all?
Well, let me qualify this conversation by telling my own quick story. At about 11:55, my calendar alert went off saying that I needed to be on this show, and I about had a heart attack thinking that I needed to be in Bellevue at 12. So, fortunately, I realized that
you were here on time.
I was here on time because I had pre-blocked out time in anticipation of needing to get here, and I had forgotten that I had done that. So, really, I tell that story because for me, and I think for most people, it's about being organized. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, my short-term memory loss is such that if I don't write it down or I don't put it into a calendar, I'm going to forget about it.
Yes.
And that really just simplifies my life.
And, also on that, Tyler, I love that example because it's also realizing that things are going to happen. No matter how well your life is organized, how successful you are, how happy your life is, tragedy is going to happen. You're going to do things wrong. Mistakes are going to come up. So really taking the balance of life and learning how to fail is important. So on any given day, Tyler, what are the top 3 things that you personally focus on?
Well, we'll start with getting out of bed because that's huge.
That's a good thing.
In my day. I really focus on staying organized. I review my day either the night before or at the beginning of the day to make sure that I am on top of all of my meetings and obligations. I must have missed that meeting with myself this morning. But to answer your question a little differently, I would say that what this really boils down to for me is being committed. And focused. You mentioned tragedy. I lost my father last year right before we embarked on the adventure of purchasing this office. And I could not have predicted in the midst of that tragedy that all of these wonderful things would happen and that I would have to time manage and stay focused regardless of how life was affecting me. And that really just comes from laser focus.
Yes.
I don't really know how else to put it. It's I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I typically commit to what I feel I can stay committed to, which seems like I'm committed to a lot, but at the end of the day, it sounds far worse than it really is. And it's I think in our profession, certainly if you're going to embark on a real estate career, it's important to dispel the notions that this is about wearing your bunny slippers and, tooling about the house until 2:00 in the afternoon. I have a business to run.
Yep.
Whether it's as a selling broker, managing my own client base, or running a team of brokers as I do at the office.
Yes.
And I can't think of any CEO for a major or small company out there who isn't working 50, 60, 70 hours a week because they've made that commitment to a lifestyle.
Exactly.
And for me, I'm committed to this lifestyle. We take very nice vacations, and when we're not on vacation, we work hard. Yeah.
Well, and I like starting out the day and just getting up on time, having a plan when you get up and being excited to get out of bed. I think that's the start to having a successful day. So, Tyler, how important is it to be responsive?
Oh, I think responsiveness is certainly in our profession the most important anchor, if you will, to my business. My wife will oftentimes, frankly, complain about the fact that I have my phone in my hand, but my phone is my office, is my life.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how many times I've picked up a piece of business because I've had my phone by my side and I've responded to an inquiry immediately, and I've been the first person to do so. And I also can't tell you how many times I've heard clients say, this other person didn't respond to me in 48 hours. I just find that unacceptable, and I can't understand how anybody would run their business like that.
Yeah, and I totally agree, Tyler. At the same time, understanding that you're not going to be able to respond immediately to everything, but having a sense of urgency when that comes up. And so, Tyler, what tools do you use to manage your day-to-day business?
You mean in terms of actual production tools?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so production tools.
Generally speaking, I'm an Android user, and so all of my tools are Google-based, either Drive or Docs or Gmail. This way I have access to all of my files immediately, regardless of where I am. I could be on the other side of the planet and still be able to set up a purchase and sale or answer a broker's question. So for me, geography is not as important as responsiveness.
Yes. And it's funny because to see so many people in the industry that are not embracing technology and taking advantage of the constant change because technology has so many amazing things that just keep coming up. So, Tyler, let's talk just a little bit about your downtime. How's that look for you?
That's great, and I actually want to qualify that by saying that while I am highly responsive, I do not respond to everything.
Yes.
And I think in order to have quality downtime, you need to be able to live in those quadrants where, although it might be important, it doesn't require an immediate reaction.
Yep.
If it is not important and not urgent, then it's not going to get my attention anytime soon. In terms of downtime, I've always sort of lived my day as if I'm taking small vacations. So, for instance, if I know that I'm going to be meeting with clients at night, or I have something where I know that there's a break in the day, I'll go for a walk. I'll go to the store. I'll buy myself a nice shirt. I'll do something that is rewarding of the activity. Doesn't cost me a lot of time or money, and it feels like I'm doing something nice for myself. And I think that's really important, because it's unrealistic for me to say, even when I plan for a weekend off or I plan for a day off, that somehow my business is not going to intervene in some fashion in that day. And again, I accept that. This is the career that I've chosen for myself. So rather than trying to bookend my day and be unreachable, I just decide how to manage my time so that it suits my schedule. And the other thing I would say is that I set expectations with my clients. And I think that's hugely important. If you are at their beck and call, then you are their servant. And that's just not how I choose to live my life. I like being of service to rather than in service to my clients or any other people in my life.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, I put a stake in the ground.
And I like to say part of your little vacation today is coming into studio and visiting the other guest and myself.
You know what? On this cold December day, I see only sunshine, Tina.
Awesome. So, Tyler, let's talk about rewarding. How it's important for us all not to just reward others, but to reward ourselves as well. So what do you do to give yourself a pat on the back and reward yourself?
I actually touched on that a little earlier, and we were having a client relationship management meeting this morning at the office, and I asked my fellow brokers this very same question. For me, truly, if I have a $1 million closing or a $200,000 closing, it doesn't matter. I'll go out. I'll go to Banana Republic and buy a shirt.
Nice.
I really keep it simple. I want really for nothing in my life. I'm very fortunate. So I don't need to be extravagant, but I do need to pay attention to my needs and what makes me feel good. And those are the things that make me feel good. So I keep it simple.
Love it.
Nice bottle of wine, time with my wife, our dogs, my daughter, whatever is going to feel like a reward. But generally speaking, I'll go out and buy myself a piece of clothing, because that's what I like to do.
Well, that's great to have something that reward that every time you have a success, you're giving yourself the reward. I love that. And all of us, I think a key thing in success is being able to recognize areas that we need improvement. So if there were something that right now you could be doing better, Tyler, what would that be?
I think I need to take on more responsibility.
I love that. I don't know how much more I can fit in the bio here.
I don't think you ever stop improving, and I don't have a pat answer for that. I think probably the most important thing is to remain open to the possibility that there are things that can be improved upon. We are all students. I don't think, and we're teachers as well, but we never stop learning. I was a martial artist for many years, and one of the things that our grandmaster explained, and he wore a white belt that actually was a black belt that he had worn for so long that it had turned white. And the moral in the telling of that story is that you get to a point in your life where you have so much knowledge that you really realize that you're a student and you will never stop learning.
Love that. So, Tyler, what was the reason, your why behind taking on all these challenges? Why did you decide to do that?
You never stop growing, Tina. I think in order for me to be better at what I do and to serve my clients and my brokers more effectively, I have to continue learning. And I also find that the more I give back to my profession, the more it gives to me in terms of expertise and knowledge, a great referral base. It's been very kind to me, and so I like to be kind to it. And as I said, it gives me a lot of information, which in turn helps me engage my clients at a level that I think most of my competitors are not able to, because they frankly just haven't taken the time to expose themselves to the additional sort of higher level 35,000 feet thinking that I get to enjoy.
So, Tyler, I got less than a minute, but I have to ask you this question. What are your thoughts on work-life balance? I know, less than 60 seconds. That's a hard one.
I think that's an amorphous thing, and I don't actually believe in the notion of work-life balance. I think you work, I think you live. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. And there are times to go all in and commit wholeheartedly to your work, and then there are times to step back and go all in and commit wholeheartedly to your life, to your personal life. And sometimes, the scales are going to be weighted in one direction or another.
I love it. We think so much alike. I talk about that life seasons. We're either in a working season, play season, or love season. There's many different seasons. Tyler, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for the great conversation.
Thank you, Tina. Always a pleasure.
Coming up next in the Money Hour, year-end tax planning. Greg Nunn with Gregory S. Nunn and Company right here at 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.